The question Hiranyakashipu asked in his own palace was not theology, it was a threat. Where is your God now? Prahlāda stood small in the vast hall, surrounded by pillars that looked like they'd been carved to impress fear itself. Ministers watched. Guards tightened their grip on weapons. Even the air felt controlled, like breathing required permission. And on the throne sat the king who believed he had hacked the universe. Hiranyakashipu had forced a boon from Brahma. No death by man or beast, not by day or night, not inside or outside, not by weapon, not on earth or in sky. He made it sound like destiny had signed a contract. So now he didn't just rule people, he ruled possibilities. And the one person he could not rule was his own son. Prahlāda's devotion to Vishnu wasn't polite. It wasn't strategic. It was innocent, stubborn love, the kind that makes tyrants feel insulted. Because if a child can love something higher than fear, what happens to the whole empire of fear? Again and again, Prahlāda was punished, thrown, burned, poisoned. And every time he returned, still chanting, still soft-eyed, still unbroken, like his heart had become a temple no violence could enter. That day, Hiranyakashipu's patience snapped into something colder. He dragged Prahlāda close enough for the boy to smell the king's anger. "You're Vishnu," he hissed. "Is he here? Is he in this pillar?" Prahlāda didn't argue. He didn't tremble. He said simply, "Yes." And in that yes, the entire palace paused. Because the king smiled. He rose, walked to the pillar, and struck it hard, like he was hitting the very idea of devotion. Stone rang. Once. Twice. The third blow didn't echo. It answered. A sound came from inside the pillar, deep, alive, impossible. Not the crack of stone, but the growl of a universe waking up. Courtiers stumbled back, guards froze. Prahlāda's eyes widened, not in fear, but in recognition. Then the spectacle. The pillar split, and the split became light. It exploded into dawn, as if sunset and sunrise collided in one frame. Out of that radiance stepped a being that no boon could corner, half man, half lion, made of unbearable brilliance. Narasimha. Not arriving politely from the sky, not descending from a distant heaven, stepping out of the place the tyrant chose to mock. Hiranyakashipu's victory formula shattered in his mind. Man? Beast? Neither. Day? Night? The hall was filled with a bleeding edge of time, twilight. Inside? Outside? Narasimha stood at the threshold, the doorway becoming a verdict. The king tried to turn courage into violence. He charged. But you cannot attack a correction. Narasimha moved with a speed that wasn't athletic, it was inevitable. He seized the king like one plucks a thorn from skin, and yet, even in that ferocity, there was precision. No weapon, no ground, no sky. He lifted Hiranyakashipu onto his lap, right at the doorway, in that in-between hour when the world can't decide whether it is day or night. Claws, living, divine, tore through the armor of arrogance. The palace heard the end of a lie. Blood spilled, boons failed. Pride collapsed like a statue that looks tall only until it breaks. But Narasimha did not calm after. He burned. His rage filled the hall because it wasn't personal anger. It was the fury of Dharma itself, the flame that arrives when cruelty has been allowed to grow too long. Everyone bowed, not out of etiquette, but survival. Except Prahlāda. The boy walked forward, small feet, steady steps, a child approaching a storm. He didn't demand, he didn't bargain, he simply offered love. And in that offering, Narasimha's radiance softened, not dimming, but changing, like fire becoming lamp. The terrifying Lord looked at his devotee, and the universe exhaled. The reveal was not just that God can protect. It was that God can emerge from the very place your fear says is empty. Closing wisdom. When someone bangs on the pillar of your faith demanding proof, remember, divinity doesn't always come from above. Sometimes it breaks out from within what you were told was only stone.